Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to this Godot Android series, and finally we have reached AdMob integration. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to implement a few ads and then we are going to publish our game to the App Store next lesson. So if you're interested in that, that's what we're doing, and let's get right into it. As always, like, subscribe, comment down below if you have any issues or any questions, or you want to tell me I'm awesome. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do is we're going to set up our application inside AdMob. This is not too difficult of a process. I'll show you how it's done. So first we're going to sign in. So make sure all your ad blockers are turned off for AdMob. So you'll come inside here, you'll be inside your AdMob. You may need to do some setup stuff like setting up your information and stuff like that, but I've already done that, so we're not going to go over that. When your account's set up, you're going to go into your apps, and you see I've already set up Solo Sign, but we're going to add a new one, and we're going to go through. So we are going to create an Android application, and it is listed on the store. So I couldn't get my internal apps shown here. So here, I'll show you. play.google.com. So if you look at our application here inside Google Play, you see that there's a package name here, and that it's actually on the Google Play Store. If I go inside here, you see it shows up internally. But if you click yes, it's listed on the store, and you search it by link, it doesn't show up. So until it's released, you're not going to be able to show. It's not going to be able to be shown here. If it's listed on any other store, you'll be able to do it here as well. But we'll revisit this section when we go to release. I think it's going to be next video or something like that, or next lesson in this series. So for now, we're going to hit no and then continue. So platform Android app name, we're going to say Solo Slime video, because this is not going to be the active one. So let's just say test. And do we want user metrics? I'll just keep yes, because why not? And we create our application. So that's easy enough. We're going to look at this app ads.txt next lesson when we go to release as well. What we're going to focus on in this video is create ad units. So we're going to create 2 units, and I will show you and I'll show you how to make the third kind, but we're not going to implement it because I don't have any rewards. So there's 3 kinds of ads that this plugin supports. We'll go look at the plugin in a minute, but we'll do it here. So it supports these banner ads, it supports interstitial ads, and it supports the rewarded app ads as well. So let's implement them. This is not going to be difficult. So the banner ad is going to be simple. This is just going to say, we're going to call it default banner. And there's advanced settings. You can choose what kind of ads you want. Our banner itself is just going to be, you can choose between text, whatever. Automatic refresh, we are going to do Google optimize, but you can customize how often the banner will refresh itself. And you can also choose, these are beta features, but you can ask Google to optimize, I think is like your CPM or something like that. Your eCPM floor. Usually you'd probably just keep this at all prices and let Google fill it for you. But if you're looking to get the highest value ads, you click high floor, but you see here, it limits the number of ads that it'll actually show. So with that, we create ad unit, and you'll see that we get it'll show our app ID and the ad ID, but we can grab these again in a minute. But just know that they show up once you create your ads. So we'll create another ad unit. We'll create the interstitial ad. This one is going to be our main money maker. Let's call it main money maker. Now the interesting thing with the interstitial ad is you don't want it to interrupt your users too often. So you can actually have it cap it for how many impressions you want to have per a certain amount of time. So me personally, I'm not interested in spamming everybody with ads. If someone's been playing my game for more than 15 minutes, then maybe show them another ad. But other than that, one ad per 15 minutes seems like a one interrupting ad per 15 minutes. It seems about right for me. And again, we're going to keep the rest normal. And this one here, we're actually going to create a video, well, any type of advertisements again, but you can limit it to what you're interested in. So we'll create this ad unit. And again, you get it gives you your app ID again, and it gives you your ad ID. And we'll create one more ad unit, and we'll call this rewarded. And this one here, this is your rewarded ad. So you know how sometimes you'll get like a free continue or something like that, right? By watching an ad, it'll be like you're dead. If you want to continue, hit this, watch an ad. So you can do this like here. Let's just say free continue, and enter amount. We'll say 1, continue. Advanced settings. So you can choose whether you want to include interactive ads. I personally hate interactive ads, but again, it could lead to decreased revenue. Server-side verification. So this here, if you're running like an MMO or something like that, and it's important for you not to be for people not to just fraudulently create stuff, then it'll be important that you set up a callback URL that Google will call when the video has been watched. And what that'll do is it'll make sure that they've watched the video before awarding them the currency. So this is better for stuff like if you're generating gems. It's like collect 50 gems. If you watch a reward, you would watch the video. Google would then call your callback URL with a very specific user ID here or custom data. Then you would catch that on the server side and say, okay, this user has earned 50 gems, add it to that user's account. There's no accounts on my application, so we're not going to do that. But if you're interested in possibly seeing how this would work, leave a comment down below. I'll implement it somehow. I'll figure out something to add. Maybe we'll add skins or something. Actually, we're probably going to end up adding skins for in-app purchases, but we'll see. Again, you can frequency cap for how often they can do it. This one here, I don't care. Let them continue as much as they want. If they want to watch ads and give me money, that's fine. And Google optimize everything again. All right, we have our 3 ads here. So we can leave this for now. We're going to have to come back to this page to get the IDs. But the next step we're going to do is we're going to start adding these stuff to our actual application. So this is all you need to do in AdMob for now. So this is the plugin we're going to be using. It's called Godot Android AdMob plugin by Shin-Nil. It seems like a good plugin. It worked fairly easily. So let's go into actually using it. So it's fairly simple. You're going to go to the tags here and click releases and grab the version you're interested in. So each one of these versions will say which version it was compiled with. We're using 3.3, so just click this zip file and download it. I've already done it, so with everything unzipped or open anyway, you have 2 folders. So you have AdMob plugin here, which has a release.aar and a Godot AdMob.gdab. So just like our Google Play plugin, we go into our project directory here, click Android, plugins, and see GDAP ARR, and just copy those into this folder here. And that's all you need to do for that there. And then your AdMob lib folder here that has a GD file and icon will go directly into your root folder of your project. So you can just copy that into your root folder. And that's all you need to do with the files themselves. All right, so let's open the project and start implementing it. So we've returned to our project, and I'll explain what we want to do, and then we'll implement it. What we want to accomplish is that, one, when we first open the application, we do not want to show an advertisement. Simply enough because we don't want to just spam people who just join our application with an ad immediately, right? What I'm going to do is, after losing After you lose 5 times, it will display an ad. It will attempt to display an interstitial ad, one that takes up basically the whole screen. And then if that fails, if it fails to get an ad from Google, which could be one of 2 cases. One, Google doesn't have an ad to give me, which means that there was no ad fill. Or the second reason why we would fail is because we had the frequency cap on that type of ad. So if we go back here and we go to our ad units, our interstitial, our main moneymaker here, you see we have a frequency cap of 1 per 15 minutes. If you ask for an ad before that 15 minutes is up, it will fail to give you an advertisement. So in the case of failing to get an advertisement, what we're going to do is we're going to show a banner at the bottom of our screen. And simply enough, that will just be so if the interstitial, the big one that's going to be in people's way, doesn't show, then we're just going to show a little ad that's really unobtrusive at the bottom of the screen. I call this the accidental click zone. So my theory with banner ads is that in general, people are only clicking them by accident. A lot of developers, I should say, not most, but a lot of developers, they seem to put the ads or place the ads somewhere where you're very likely to click it by accident, and it's clearly on purpose. Now, I'm going to be showing it when it's on the lose screen. So let's show here. It's going to look like this. So let's say you lose, and then there's going to be an ad at the bottom, pretty much where this square is. In theory, it will be relatively rare for someone to accidentally click this because the only thing you're going to be doing is up here. My thought is that if it's down here, you might hit it with your thumb by accident while you're holding your phone, but it should be unlikely. So it might give me a few pity clicks, right? So that's what we're going to do. Outside of that, we'll see if we can show a rewarded ad just to see what it looks like, but I'm not going to keep that in my application just because I have no rewards, and I don't really want to implement a continuous system, at least not yet. So if you look at the documentation, and I'm going to always refer back to the documentation because if you get lost or if you need a reference and you don't want to watch the video again, this is where you're going to go. There's a few steps here. First steps is moving the files where they belong. We already went over that. The second one is activating the custom build like we did with Google Play. So if you don't know how to set up your custom build, check that video out. It's previous in this playlist. And then we want to enable AdMob and check a couple boxes. So let's go inside our project and then export, and then our Android export. And you see here under plugins, we now have Google AdMob. So you'll want to click that. A couple of other things we want to do is we want to enable, I know one of them is internet here, and the other one is, I think, network access or something. But let's see where it says that. Access network state. So let's go here. So you enable internet at the bottom of these options panel and access network state here. You want to give them those 2 permissions. Yeah, so that's everything we need to do for our export. So now we have, so again, we'll just double check. We've got AdMob enabled. We have access network state permission and the internet permission. Now, finally, all we need to do is add a node to our project. What you want to do is you can right click, add child, click this, add child, or you can control A, and you want to find AdMob, admob.gd, and add that as a child to your node 2D. Now this is what we need. So let's go over the options here. Is real is only, you should only ever check it, click this checkbox, if you are building for export and upload to Google Play. If you have this on and Google catches you generating advertisements for yourself during development, they could ban your account. So be careful, just keep this off until you're ready to publish. Now, banner on top, the banner ads, you can either choose to have them on top or on the bottom. I want them on the bottom, so I'll turn that off. Banner size, I don't know which size I want, but I'm going, adaptive banner seemed fairly small to me, but I'll leave it at that for now. Now we get to the banner ID, interstitial ID, and rewarded ID. So those, if we go back to our AdMob account and our ads, so you see here we have an ad unit ID. You can either copy it here, or there's this button, implementation instructions, and you can get it from here. So this is going to be our interstitial. So we'll put that in interstitial. Then we need our banner. Take this. So let's just make sure. I've always grabbed them from here, so I prefer that spot. Grab our banner, put inside banner, and then rewarded, which is here. We will grab our rewarded ID. And rewarded. And then child directed, which I don't remember what child directed means. So let's check here. Child directed. If true, sets the ads to children directed. If true, max ad content rate will be ignored. Oh, right. So this, I think this means whether or not you're aiming to children. It basically caps your rating at G. So this max ad rating should always match what you set in Google Play Store. So in my store, I set my application as G rated. So my ads will be G rated as well. So that's everything we need to set up to be able to show advertisements, except for one last thing. So inside our project folder, inside Android, in build, we have our Android manifest.xml. We need to add one thing to that. So I believe I already have it open in Visual Studio Code. So let's look at that now. All right. So if you remember correctly, when we added our app, what we did is we added this app ID and this Google Play services here. So here, what we need is you can simply copy paste this thing here from this site, from the README, and we'll put it right underneath here. Now, the important part about where to place this, and I didn't go very into it in depth in it, you want it inside this application tag here. And the README actually suggests doing it at the bottom right before the end. This place would probably make it very easy to keep track of where to put it. I personally just prefer it up here with all the other metadata. I think of metadata as stuff that would be at the top of a file. So we added the metadata for the ads application ID, but now we need to put in our own application ID. So once again, we go back to AdMob. And if you go to any of your ads and go into your implementation instruction at the top, you have using this app ID, and you just grab this app ID right here. And you paste that into this spot here. That's everything you need to do to have ads working in your application. Just for sanity, let's make sure that the plugin builds and that the application still launches, because if it doesn't, then I did something wrong. So screen recorder. Okay, so I've got Android on here. Let's click the button and it's going to compile. There we go. It's getting there. Now it's installing it to the device. It's opening and it all logs in properly. So we know that the plugin is not crashing my application. So theoretically, we should be good to implement some stuff. Actually, first we're going to show an interstitial ad after you lose 5 times. So here I've already implemented, I believe, the logic here. So I have a playtimes variable. Every time I lose, where's lose game, I add 1 to playtimes. And if I above 5 on playtimes, I reset playtimes to 0, and I'm going to load interstitial advertisement here. So how do we do that? The first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need a reference to our AdMob object here. So here we're going to do onReady var AdMob as AdMob equal AdMob. Anyways, so we've got a reference to that object. Now, what do we need to do? We need to load the application. Now, I believe to do that, it's fairly simple. Whenever we get to lose here, we are going to say AdMob.load interstitial. So the showing an advertisement is 2 steps. The first step is loading the advertisement, where it makes a request for the advertisement and loads it into memory. And then the second step is actually presenting the advertisement. So we make a call to load the advertisement here so that we can find out whether or not it was successful. If it was successful, we show the advertisement. If it's not successful, then we show a banner ad, right? So we can do that here here we have AdMob, our AdMob file here. If you go into your inspector on your node tab, you'll see here, interstitial closed, interstitial failed to load, interstitial loaded. So we're going to implement these 2, interstitial loaded, interstitial failed to load. So interstitial loaded, we will connect it to our node TD and on AdMob interstitial loaded here. And this one will be simple. If interstitial is loaded, then we want to AdMob.show interstitial. And that does exactly what it says. It will just show the interstitial advertisement once the interstitial is loaded. Then we can go back to our AdMob node, and on failed to load, we want to create a new function. So here, if it failed to load, as I explained, if no advertisement present returned from AdMob, show banner advertisement. And this is we do this here, showing the banner advertisement. It has the same process as showing the interstitial. So we do AdMob.load banner, and then we implement the node for banner loaded. AdMob connecting on banner loaded. So if the banner is successful, oops, I put this in the wrong spot. Okay, here, AdMob, banner loaded, disconnect, here, connecting from here, connect, that's better. So on banner loaded, then we will show the banner, AdMob.show banner. And if it fails to load again, banner failed to load, connect, we will say AdMob. We don't actually have to do anything here, so we'll print no advertisements to show, like that. So that will have, or should have, assuming nothing is wrong on any end, should have wired up my advertisements properly. So after we lose 5 times, it should load the interstitial and then show the interstitial. If it fails to load, it will load the banner, and if it successfully loads the banner, it will show the banner. So let's give that a shot and see what happens. Hopefully it works. Hopefully I don't have to debug this live again. This is going well so far. Okay, so we loaded. Now we need to lose 5 times. So what I'm going to do, first thing, is I'm going to show you how to run a debugger. If it's not showing, it's going to be a much more in-depth debugger. So you want to go to your C drive, go to your users folder, to your user folder, cd local, cd app data, cd local, cd Android, cd SDK, cd platform tools. And then inside here you have adb.exe, so you can do adb logcat, and then pipe symbol, grep, grep. You want to be in your developer command prompt here, grep, and then Godot. Now what this will do is now you have a log. It'll print out any logs of anything that you run on your device. So we'll open that and we'll keep this open and see what happens. And it should tell you, it should say whether or not things load properly, whether or not you get an error. So you'll see here, we successfully signed into Google Play. And now let's die 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more time, 5. Now it should load a interstitial advertisement. Ad loaded, and there we go. A video ad plays. And that's exactly what we want. You notice how it says test ad at the top? You definitely want to make sure you see that, because if you don't see that, it means you're in the wrong mode and you could get in trouble. You close that and you see on resumed, and it resumes your application. And you actually notice here that at the bottom, it also opened a banner, because I guess, I don't know why. I don't know why it loaded the banner, but it opened a banner at the bottom as well. But so let's do this again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you'll see it failed to load. We got a 3, and ad loaded, and it showed a banner advertisement. Now to make that more clear, what we also want to do at this point is we want to hide the ad. So you see here, if I went to play the game here, I might click the ad by accident because it's actually in the thumb zone, right? Which was kind of on purpose, but I don't want the ad there while people are playing. I don't want them to have to try clicking that tiny stupid little X button on the corner that everybody hates. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to hide the advertisement once we start the game again. So you're only going to see ads when you're not playing the game. When you're playing the game, ads are gone. So what we're going to do is, very simply, in restart game here, we are just going to go AdMob.hide banner. And then we can run that. And we can see everything happen this time. So you notice here that the interstitial ads now will not be given to me because of the 15-minute throttle on those. That's why I was trying to make sure everything was done at the same time, so that we can see it all working without having to make too many caveats. So we hit start. 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's open our logcat, and 5. Leaderboard, failed to load ad, loaded ad, banner shows. Now if we restart, the banner goes away. And see, no banner, because it only shows a banner every 3, 4, and 5. And then failed to load an ad, and a banner shows up. And that's how you show advertisements and integrate AdMob into your application. Now, one last thing we're going to do really quick is we're going to add a rewarded advertisement, just see what those look like and see how to handle them. So what we're going to do is, in this page, we are going to add, not this page, on the lose menu, we are just going to add a button, add child node button. And this button is going to be, let's just delete this then. Delete node. Okay. We'll take this button here and we will duplicate it. We will put it in the top left corner. We are just going to put a big ol' R on it. We're going to make it smaller. We're going to make it smaller. All right, so that's our rewarded ad. R stands for rewarded. So here we are going to go here. We're going to disconnect this, and we are going to say not achievement 3. Let's rename this rewarded. So on rewarded pressed, we are going to play our rewarded ad. So here, AdMob.load rewarded video. And again, once you load a thing, you need to catch whether it loaded successfully or failed. So AdMob rewarded video loaded, open, started, left application, failed to load. Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff here. So rewarded video loaded here. So we want loaded, we want failed to load, and we will take rewarded as well. Because I want to see, these are the important ones for now. So first thing we're going to do, if it loaded successfully, show rewarded video. So that's going to be the main butter. Then here we are just going to print rewarded video failed to load. And for the AdMob rewarded, we're not going to do anything with it now, but we will see that currency, I imagine, will come back. I think what I'm expecting is this will come back as continues or something, and amount should come back as 1. And these will match, or should match. I haven't done this before, so I'm kind of making assumptions here that we're going to validate in a second. It should map what we did here. Reward amount 1, continue. So this would actually be continue. Right? So here we are going to say print currency. Let's just say this and this modulo current, oops, not this, currency and amount. I think that's the syntax, currency. I think that's the syntax for that. Right, so let's, I think that's good. I think that's all we need. So let's give that a shot and see what happens. I expect that this should work quite well. So this one we're going to have access to without our restart timer. Actually, we have the R here. So let's actually fix that before testing it out. For posterity, you should always test stuff kind of in a real scenario, not really in a fake, I'm just going to show the lose screen scenario. So solo slime, everything shows up. We log in, we hit start, we lose, and we have the rewarded video. And we show this. I forgot to show this. And it loads the video ad here. So it's just like an interstitial ad, but it's a rewarded video. And you see here, it printed on rewarded, currency, continue amount 1. And it printed continue 1. And that's exactly what we were looking for. Right? So that is how you would do it. And then let's say we award them their 1 continue. If they have 1 continue, they can continue. If they close the application or whatever too soon, then it wouldn't reward the currency. So if we do this again, I don't know if it's going to let us. It should. I don't see why it wouldn't. On reward, video ad load, open, video started, and it awarded it. As soon as that turns into an X, it rewards the currency. And that's AdMob. That's how you do it. It's not complicated. It's not too difficult. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you're interested in more, next video, we're going to be going through the release process of our whole game, because the purpose of this is so that you can take this series and from the start to the end of implementing your game with Google Play services using Godot, release a game. So with that said, we're done here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. And hit like, subscribe, all that crap. See you next time.